So we're back, and we're here with somebody very special to me, one of our veteran contributors to the Black News Beat, Onah Ossai. So happy to be back. So first of all, let's just talk about how you've deserted me forever.
In what way?
Because you're busy and you have a life and a kid, and I just miss you. That's all.
It's been a lot. Well, we're here now. Let's make the moment of most of us.
And we will.
Most of our time.
So how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
You look great.
Oh, thank you.
Your hair looks fly.
Does it? It looks good today?
Really
I love that. Yours looks great too.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God. Thank you very much. I haven't even got to tell you about my trip to Trinidad, and I got an award. I didn't tell you all these things, but I'm sure you saw all of them.
I saw all of the pictures. I was on the Facebook and doing this, so I saw the pictures.
So yeah, I've missed you. It's good to have you here.
Absolutely.
So, today we're doing the Anne Frank Good at Heart Festival here at Open Stage in conjunction with Black News Beat. And so the question I'm asking my guest tonight is, how is your work connected to social justice, first and foremost? And, well, first tell us about you. Tell us about Onah and the things that Onah does in the region.
Oh, in the region. So I do a lot. So I in my volunteer time locally, I do a lot of work with Harrisburg Abolition Table. We do a lot of work focused on, we're currently spending a lot of time focused on prison abolition, decarceration, and Dauphin County Prison is raggedy. You know it.
Period.
I know it. It's raggedy. It is the deadliest prison in the Commonwealth, and we're really trying to work to make sure that the least of us are there.
That's right.
Right, for community healing. And so that's a lot of what I do here locally, and I also, in my day life, I'm also an organizing manager now, Kimeka. We haven't talked in so long, I got a promotion and I forgot.
Congratulations! That's amazing.
We
Organizing manager. Okay.
We do organizing and grassroots politics, and I am focused in the Lehigh Valley and northeastern PA at the moment, so.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So what does that look like for you? If you're doing a lot of overlapping work. Mm-hmm. So it seems like, especially with folks like you and myself and a couple of other people, when you are doing work in the daytime like you do after work, how does that affect you, and how do you go forward with the things that you know are important?
Wow, this is like therapy. So one of it is capacity setting, which is something I think all of us are learning, right?
Yes.
Is what are our capacities? But you have to find things that fill your spirit. And the work that I do in the daytime fills my spirit in a lot of ways. And then there are parts where I want to be working more locally, right? There's things here that I want to change, right? And so you take the things you learn from one place and you take them to another place, you know? The thing about social justice work is it all overlaps, right? When we think about prison abolition, right, and police abolition and housing and sanitation, all of these things overlap, right? So yeah, you just keep chugging along.
Absolutely,
and that's what you do.
So I know you're working on some things now that are near and dear to your heart. So what kinds of things, as far as could be whatever you want to talk about, but definitely from a social justice lens, are you working on that you are eager to tell us about?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've been focused on lately that is feels like it's in the right social justice lane is the work around Dauphin County Prison. A lot of when we started, really trying to do abolitionist work around DCP, a lot of the people who were attending the meetings, the public meetings, the prison board meetings, were coming at it from the conditions, they have people that they love or care about who are in there, and they want them to be in a place with good conditions. They want them to be able to make phone calls.
Absolutely.
They want them to have heat. They don't want their food to be moldy. They have a lot of conditioned things that they want done. And a lot of the avenue that we have tried to do and the power that we have tried to build is around not just conditions, but thinking about why are there so many people in Dauphin County Prison? Why are so many of those people look like me and you? And for what purpose are so many people in there, right? Are they there on pretrial detention? Is it just a matter of cash bail? And so through this work, the county doesn't like to give information. You know,
So we have figured out.
we have figured this out that they for all their claims of transparency, they don't want to be transparent, right? And so one of the biggest things that we've gotten is a return to giving us. It's like so nerdy, but like these year-end reports that we need to know why people are in there.
Absolutely right.
These pre-trial, we're in April. We've been pushing for this for 2 years, but we should be able to find out who is there on detainer, who's there on bail, who's there on cash bail, who may be there because they have a parking ticket they just couldn't pay off, right? And these are the things that will allow us to make sure that that we put pressure on those in power so that they stop putting us in prison for their own gain, right? Putting people in Dauphin County Prison is a way for the county to, in some ways, get commissary funds that they can put back to the general fund, right? There's a lot of ways that prisons can be used as slush funds, and in a lot of ways still to this day that black bodies are used in that way.
100%. So tell us, from the Juneteenth protests last year to now, how have things changed? Because we know that the Juneteenth protest was a hard way to go last year. They gave us a lot of shit for that.
Gave us shit.
And it turns out that the very thing that they were protesting, there was an article in August that came out detailing the difficult conditions under which that young man passed away. So how have things changed or stayed the same since then?
So that protest really, like, it popped off. That was a really good moment of community solidarity, showing that, like, we aren't forgetting what's happening in there. You can put up that fence, you can put up that black screen, but we know what you're hiding back there, right? And so from that time on, the county has been on a PR tour. They've been hiring a lot of people who look like us to fill a lot of roles, to put them on Front Street for not a lot to change, right? We've been calling it the scandal of the month. There's a scandal of the month at Dauphin County Prison that is still happening. But one thing that has changed, and I think why a lot of movement is happening, is those meetings are well attended,
Very well
right?
attended.
We started letting people know, like, y'all can come to this meeting and tell them about it too. Like,
That's right.
y'all can come here, you can ask questions, and you can demand. These are the people in power. These are the commissioners, the president, judge. There's so many people that sit there in that prison board meeting that need to hear what you guys have to say. And since then, there has been a lot of movement to, yes, they're hiring people that look like us too. I think in their mind, maybe smooth things over. But there are some incremental steps that have been taken to be more transparent about what's going on. And that's the thing about community pressure, right? That's the thing about it, is like, everything's fine until people start showing up, right?
That's right.
So these prison board meetings went from being like a couple people in the room were the people who were always there, and then like maybe 2 or 3 people on Zoom, and it was just the people giving the reports, to like, now there'll be like 20, 25 people on the Zoom. The room is standing room only and packed up. And so it's really just giving people a chance to know, like, not just will your voice be heard, but this is the day and time. You can come in and have your voice heard. So I think that has done a lot to move the needle there.
One of the county officials, after that time, after the hard time that was had, given whatever, came to, saw me out about in the community and said, I just want to let you know that I'm thankful for you. Keep holding our feet to the fire. So, I take that as a challenge. You know what I'm saying? And I want to know, if we want to keep holding our officials'
Mission accepted.
Period.
To whomsoever you were, mission accepted.
So I want to know, tell the people, what can we do to keep holding particularly our county officials with the issue of DCP, the horrendous issue of DCP? How can we keep, and that's a direct quote, keep holding our feet to the fire? So how can we do that?
So there's a lot of feet to be held to the fire.
That's right.
And so the first thing you have to hone in on is which ones do we need to hold their feet to the fire now? The Dauphin County Bail Fund, who we also work with, released a report about cash bail. and the MDJs and that set cash bail, and the top 5 worst offenders in our area for cash bail, right? So one of the ways that people can hold people's feet to the fire is there are a lot of people running for office right now to be an MDJ, right? A lot of people running to office right now to be a county commissioner, and they oversee the prison, right? And so you can show up at their events and you can ask them hard questions. You can ask them, will they agree to not use cash bail as a measure? You can ask them, the county commissioners, right, if they will make sure the heat is on this winter for the people who live there. And so
make sure the food is moldy.
Make sure the food's not moldy.
That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Yeah, and then you can show up.
A real disgusting thing, but anyway.
Absolutely, and I believe we're going to have another. We're still in the planning phases, but we're going to have another event this Juneteenth.
Absolutely right.
Popping off at that prison, and you can show up. You can bring a sign, and it can say what's on your heart about why you care about that prison. Because one thing I know about Dauphin County Prison is it has touched almost every member of the Harrisburg community.
That's right.
It has touched almost all of it. The first time I was ever at Dauphin County Prison, my father was in there, and I think I was 6, right? And that's a memory that does not leave you. That is something that does not leave you. The second time, I was an adult, and I was in on a parking ticket. And that's also a memory that does not leave you. And so all of us have been touched by that prison. All of us have had a loved one, someone we care about, who has been in there, who has experienced that, and it doesn't have to be that way.
That's right. That's right. Every time I think about the situation at DCP, I'm just like, it's enraging, it's saddening, it feels despair, but I have to take in Anne Frank's words that we have to have hope, because sometimes that's the only thing that keeps us doing the work. When you see no progress, and then you have moments like the last year where you see some movement because we dared take a stand.
Yeah. Hope as a discipline. Hope is a thing we have to do, because if we don't, there's nothing left but just doing, right? So yeah.
Right. Well, will you stick around for the panel with us?
You asked nicely. So.
I did. All right. Well, Onah, Ossai, everyone. I'm having a fabulous night. Are you guys having a fabulous night? We'll be right back after this brief break with our very next guest. Stick around.